What's going on, Wolfman fans? Welcome back to another video. That's right, 2 videos in 2 days, like back to back. Who'd have thunk it, right? Well, honestly, I've been actually following some, and this is the reason for all this, and I'll try to keep my thoughts a little more short. I'll try not to waffle too much and fly off on a tangent, but I've got a couple of different things to talk about. One of them is I've been talking with a guy in the comments of my videos. Some of you guys may have been following it, you may have not. Basically, he's saying, in a nutshell, that the things I'm saying are they're not everything. He's kind of irritated with the fact that I'm saying things on such a rudimentary and elementary level. That there's so much more going on than I tell you guys about. And while he is correct, so if you're out there watching, you know who you are correct. And the fact that you know what you know, hey, that's great, man. And I'm not saying that information doesn't need to be put out. But here's the thing. I try to reach an audience that isn't initiated into that higher level of truth. I try to reach a group of people that are just, they're wallowing in the mire, as it were, of the normal day-to-day societal issues. They don't have the understanding that you do or that I do. And I'm trying to catch their attention and bring them in a little at a time and let them know that there's way more going on. And guys, don't get me wrong, there's a lot more going on. The thing is, I'm not going to come at you hard and heavy with such hard information, with such heavy information. The thing is, it is so intricate. These are like interconnecting spider webs that go every which direction and get into everything you've ever known in this world. And I'm not, if I started talking on all that, I would lose you like that. You'd shut off. You would instantly look at me like I was out of my mind and I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I'm trying to help people to come to terms with that reality. I always say in these videos, don't take my word for gospel. Do your own research. Check out Fox News. Check out Breitbart. Check out CNN. Check out MSNBC. Check out information from every side of the spectrum. See what the left has to say. See what the right has to say. And then go into some other independent news sources. See what they have to say. You can gather a lot of little nitty-gritty details out of that. You also, after a time, you start learning how to navigate your way through the BS, okay? Before I go any further, I don't ever intend these videos for children. So in case you've ever missed me saying that, that's the case. So if you are underage of 18, I request that you click off this video and go somewhere else. Moving on. There's a lot of names that would come up in this information. Names that you know. There's information that would shock you. This information gets heavy. It gets confusing. It gets dark. And it gets frightening. I mean, outright terrifying if you really get into it. But that information I leave for you to discover. You need to do some legwork on your own. You can't just take everybody's word for it. That's part of this whole process. You can't just walk around spouting off the same nonsense that everybody else does. You have to be able to think objectively, think critically, and think for yourself. That's why I encourage you to do your individual research. To the individual that I've been talking to, Again, man, I applaud your level of knowledge and I applaud your enthusiasm. And hey, man, keep pushing the information. Keep putting the truth out there. Give me 1 second. My dog is going nuts. What do you need, Maggie? What's the deal? Go on. Sorry, I think my dog had to go to the restroom. Not that y'all wanted to know that, but when your dog is able to tell you what they want, go ahead and listen to them. They know what they need. Anyways, just when they're begging for scraps after they already ate, oh, don't listen to them. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, to that individual, hey man, I appreciate your level of knowledge and your enthusiasm. Keep it up. Just, I need you to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not sitting on a level trying to hit people with that level of knowledge. I'm bringing them in a little bit at a time with that little information. So there you go. Moving on from that, I see a lot of, and it's been happening a lot within the last couple of weeks. We're removing statues to the Confederacy. And look, I understand why. I mean, because for all intents and purposes, the Civil War was about slavery. I mean, it was. Yeah, there was, like, you know, there may be some private, you know, infantry guy who just, you know, he's poor and he may indeed be fighting for what he sees as his rights. He may not know the full story and his patriotism is being manipulated for a different purpose. That may be true. That's not a new concept. That's been going on for forever. Still goes on to this day. But for all intents and purposes, we know the Civil War was pretty much about slavery. What I need people to understand is removing these statues, removing these, and you have the cities, individual cities, have every right to do it. Although I do think removing the Texas Rangers statue at Dallas Love Field, I think you guys are stupid, and you need to quit kowtowing to individual people's whatever. They even, when the article that was published talking about that as to why they did it, they put in there an account where the Texas Rangers just let a black man die in a courthouse fire. And the fire was started by a lynch mob. They made it out to seem like they didn't do anything to protect him at all. The actual story, they left some things out. Point blank, they did everything they could to save this individual. It was like 4 Texas Rangers, among them Frank Hamer, 4 Texas Rangers against a huge lynch mob, a huge mob of people surrounding a courthouse that subsequently torched it. And even after putting this black man, who may or may not have been guilty, we don't know because he didn't go to trial. They tried to put him in the safest location they could in the courthouse to keep him safe, keep him away from this lynch mob. He cooked to death because they set fire to the place. The Rangers couldn't do anything. They didn't just up and leave, say screw it. No. They tried everything they could to save him. They couldn't do anything. So that story was dishonest. It was intellectually dishonest. It was meant to mislead you. But I'm beginning to trail off. So that statue coming down was stupid. I didn't agree with it. But like I can understand some of these Confederate statues, why you'd want to take them down. And each of these individual cities or counties or whatever, you have the right to go ahead and do that if you see fit. But here's my question. Are you doing it because you actually feel that it's the right thing to do? Or are you doing it because a group of angry black people told you to? That's my question. To the angry black people out there, you demand the removal of these statues commemorating the Confederacy, which was all about slavery and all that. Okay, but then you turn around and vote for the Democratic Party. Do you know who the Confederate States of America was run by? The Democrats. You're voting for a party that tells you openly that you're oppressed, that they want you to feel like you are oppressed. And only they can help you. They've been saying that for 40 or 50 years. When is that oppression going to stop? They haven't done anything about it. Wouldn't you think it's now time for a change? The Democrats want you to feel oppressed. Because the more you feel oppressed, the more you feel you need them, and the more you're going to work to keep them in office. These are individuals that live in mansions, gated mansions. You're not allowed on the property. While everything around them turns to hell. It just turns to shit. Look at California. It's a great example. Nancy Pelosi lives in this fucking huge mansion. Outside the walls, people are taking a dump in the street, living in tent cities. But that's what they want. They want to be on that top upper echelon. They want you to be peasants. I personally would vote for the party that says you're not oppressed. You have the equal rights of everybody else. That tells the party that tells you that you're not different, that you're equal, that you have the same rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have the same rights. Somebody that tells me that I'm not weak, but that I'm strong, gives me, it makes me feel like I'm strong. It makes me feel like I'm worth more, and I can do more. It gives you that push. Why do you keep pining for the people who tell you that you're oppressed? Why would you keep voting for these people? And then turn around and pointing out these racist statues. You don't know what you're doing. The fact that you don't even know well enough that the Democrats are the ones who fought for slavery and to keep it. You didn't even know that, which tells me you don't know your history well enough to understand why these statues may even be there in the first place. Hell, you idiots defaced a monument, a memorial to the soldiers of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry. You know who they are? The 1st Volunteer Black Regiment in the Civil War. They fought against the Confederacy. But you deface their monument because you don't know. You just see an old white guy and their rebel flag, and maybe the rebel flag, or the name, the CSA or something like that. You may know the name Robert E. Lee. You may know these things. You evidently did enough research, if you didn't know the name, to read the synopsis of an article. So-and-so person was a Confederate general. Well, that's all you need to know. Dunsky. But you don't know anything else because you're lazy. You're misinformed and you're lazy. And you won't make the effort. You are dependent upon someone else to tell you how to think and how to feel. Why? There's a group of people out here that want you to feel empowered. Let you know that you are equal and you have the rights, that you are strong as an individual. Why would you fight against that? It doesn't make any sense. Going back to the individual I was talking about earlier and the things that he was saying about how this goes much deeper and there's way more than what I'm telling you. He's right. But this is partly where it starts. This is one of those areas where it starts from. You will never see what's really going on if you cannot get past slavery in the 19th century. If you can't get past what happened well over 150 years ago, 150 years ago. It's probably, probably more than that. I'm not doing the math in my head right now, but you see what I say. You see what I'm saying? If you can't get past something like that, if you can't get past the color of the skin, if you can't get past that, and I don't care if you're saying Black Lives Matter as in to say that all lives matter, but that means that includes black lives. If you're just one of those people, your intent is good, and you're just taking a stand for what you see as people who are oppressed and people who are being, whatever. You're taking a stand against racism. But here's the problem. You're still a part of it. You're still a part of that racism. Because you're still buying into the ideas that institutional racism is a thing. That there's white people out there who are born racist. You're still buying into that nonsense that somewhere, somehow, somebody thinks that you are oppressed. You're buying into it, so you're buying into the racist nonsense. And if you can't get past that, you won't ever see what's really going on. You won't see how your children are in danger. I don't really need to go any further in depth on that right now, and I honestly don't want to. If you want to know more what I'm talking about, the information's out there. Do your research. But you won't see that because you can't get past a color. And I'm breaking it down Barney style on that one because it's that dumb. It's the same stupid argument as Bloods versus Crips. I can't walk into an area that's controlled by the Crips wearing red, or I get shot because I'm wearing the wrong color. How stupid is that? What are you accomplishing through that mentality? Black and white is no different. Okay? And if you can't get past that, you will never see how you're being manipulated, how your kids are in danger, how your children are in danger, how there's people out there who don't care about you. To them, you're an expendable commodity. If you don't believe me, it's all over your paperwork, anything that has your name on it, any official document with your name on it. You'll notice your name is written a little bit different than everything else in the document. That's just the starting point, guys. You won't ever notice these things. You won't notice that you're being controlled by a foreign country, a foreign power. You are being controlled and manipulated by a foreign power. And it's not even another nation necessarily. It's just one person it just may be one person or several people that have a lot of money. To them, you're nothing. You're a commodity to be bought and sold. Now, if you want to fight something for real, that's what you fight against. But we can't do it by ourselves. We have to be willing to stand together. And until you can get past something as stupid as this, you'll never see it. That's all I got for now. I hope you guys are taking this seriously. I hope you guys take something away from this. I really do. That's all I got. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.